No, I don't want you to wake up that fast to just, talk.
I'm usually, I work at 6 o'clock, so I'm up at 5:35 anyway. So I'm used to it.
No wonder you're strong, you bastard.
Yeah, he's almost as strong as Lachlan.
Check that bad boy out. It's the first ever limited edition, high quality, comfortable feel, versatile, supernatural strength channel, hardcore arm wrestling shirt. Yes, anytime, any occasion. And if you want one, ladies and gents, guess what? Links in the description. As you might expect, not necessarily the most technically efficient people in the world. Copy and paste that link into your browser, get it ordered.
Has anybody got any burning topics they want to discuss other than Sarah Backman looking like a friggin' animal? What the fuck? Obviously Greg must have been totally ruined.
Yeah, but how? How?
Totally. If she's shown up late in a practice and he's pulled his balls off, or she's not pulled hard, because a lot of those dudes, Sarah walk around like a lot of guys will be like. You want to pull Sarah when she's looking really strong? And anybody who's like below 154 will be going, you know what? I'll let Sarah get tired. I don't want to be getting on there and Sarah destroying my reputation. Because you're never going to live it down, and Sarah's strong.
Yeah. So Greg is going to give her his Arnold wins right now. He's looking for his trophies and bringing it to her. Yeah. What?
Yep. Yes. You're there, Ryan.
I love one of the comments said, well, maybe she's ranked number 5 under 165 or 155.
Well, I don't know whether we should break it in the show, but a lot of people, there's a popular misconception out there about Sarah Backman. And it is a disturbing one. A lot of people seem to believe, I don't know why, that Sarah Backman is actually a Swede. When in fact she's clearly from Brisbane.
Well,
not in the 8.
They come. Like I said, you got to drip feed these things. Too much of a good thing is just too much for the world. So.
Yeah, you definitely feed them slowly. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm really eager to see 3. Because I haven't actually seen 2. We've seen Marcus, and then that other dude. Whose name?
That other dude.
Huck's is bigger than Marcus. You've seen
he even sounds like a big bugger. Anybody who's called Hook, they're big. They're big just because of that name. Nobody's called Hook unless you're massive. You don't call your kid. Mama doesn't get out a 6-pound baby and say, I call thee Hook. That's not happen. That don't happen. It never has that happen. That happens when the 20-pound baby is pulled out and, mother's being resuscitated. And dad looks at baby and goes, it's a big, I'm call that Hook. I was going to call that Dave, but no, forget Dave. That's Hook right there.
We just had a super match on the weekend. Marcus's hero took on Henry Mullet. Combined weight between them was 315 kilos.
Henry Mullet doesn't sound anywhere near as imposing. Not going to lie.
as Marcus.
Henry Mullet sounds like he wrote, the first book ever about the Galapagos Islands. Not necessarily.
But Henry Mullet is a verified 3.5 Captains of Crush clothes.
So Henry Mullet writes books and crushes shit.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. He's clearly. Anna, how big is Henry Mullet, mate?
Oh, he's 6'5", 155 kilos.
Same as me. Yeah, about same as me.
Henry Mullet again in my life. Yeah, well, as far as I'm concerned, sounds like a big mother fluffer. If I go on tour of Australia, last thing I need is some pissed up Henry Mullet coming over and going, remember that time when you were giving me stick about my book writing, Henry? Yeah, we don't.
I'm thinking. I want to go to Brisbane just to see if I would grow in 2 weeks.
Honestly though, like Brisbane, regardless of all the tomfoolery he said about Brisbane, it's an amazing region in the world for arm wrestling. Honestly, 120 plus people in our region now within 40 minutes drive of each other that are active arm wrestlers. It's phenomenal. It's amazing.
Yeah,
good place for growth.
People there start out as an embryo in volcanic lava and then roll down into Brisbane and form into some kind of being. They're not really humans, are they? There's some entity that's formed. No, roll out number 3, Ryan. Make the world believe again, son.
Okay.
Make the world believe again.
Make the world believe us again, mate. Right, let's start. Should we start this show?
Yeah.
Ray's going to be very impressed. Check this out, Ray.
I've got a very large glass of wine to this show.
Jesus Christ, Ryan. Playing games. Yeah, but it's all right.
I know some Russians that drink vodka now.
Yeah. You can just tell them you're doing
good one, yes.
But nobody can compete in the large cup stakes with my man. Paul, show him what you work with.
This is a medium-sized cup today.
Rattle something about. There you go. He's back home in Harrisburg and he's got a big ass cup. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fix. Show number as a cattail hard-on goes across the screen as we often in the start. Yeah, you need to control that, Ray. Control your pussy.
Control the pussy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to show 54. 54 of the Fix. Once again, I'm back here with the usual crew of reprobates. Yes, trying to get the angle right in the dim lights of Latvia is ROLLIE Ray, the voice of arm wrestling. Back in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania at stupid o'clock. It's not that tired looking, amazingly. Poor Linn. There's a white hawk in the mother fluffing house. And some in the middle of it. What time is it now? They're like 9 o'clock. Like that, right?
Mate, this is a luxury. I can't believe the time. Yeah, it's just 8:30.
8:30. Just finished this Chinese takeaway.
You normally have me up at 1 a.m.
It's Ryan Blue Bowen, ladies and gentlemen, in the mother fluffing house. Now then, a lot of things gone on in the week, and we're going to start off with one of our favourite topics: big matches. And the first big match that we're going to speak about development on, it seems to have kicked off a little bit in terms of the revolving door of who shall face Michael Todd next up. And the latest man to throw his hat into the ring is Gennady Quickvinia, who would have been featured in the World Arm Wrestling League season had it not been for COVID. And what I wanted to just touch base on, possibilities. Does anybody think that may come off? Does anybody think that if it did come off, that it's a viable match in many ways in terms of what Michael's aspirations are? I'm going to say that I really don't, because I don't think Gennady's there yet. I don't think it does a great deal for Mike. It does a lot for Gennady. What's everybody's opinions on?
I don't think that's the match. Like it's all about Levan right now, and we know backup is Devon just because those are the big matches to have. Gennady, that match would be entertaining as hell. I'm 100% sure. There would be so much energy going around. It would be crazy. It would have been a good match. I don't care, how would it end up, but it's not the match we need, in my opinion. It's not the match we need right now,
No, it's funny. It's kind of like the Levan thing over the Levan thing, penis. The Vitaly Laletin, because nobody can deny that it is a legitimate matchup, that it's a valid matchup. It's just about trying to crystallize in your minds what Mike wants from this.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ryan, I put across you there like a bit of a prick.
It's undoubtedly a risk for Mike to take this match, because if he loses it, he loses his claim for Levan. And there's no guarantee Mike wins. I think, as Ray said, it would be an incredibly entertaining match. The energy Gennady brings to a super match, and particularly a super match against Mike, I think it would be very, very high energy, and you'd see I think Gennady would be thrashing around like crazy when Mike just holding on for grim death
For their life.
Yeah, and it would be like, can he hold on long enough to wear Gennady down, or will Gennady get through the door? Yeah. So I actually love the match. I really do. I feel like I don't know.
That would be entertaining. That would be good.
Yeah. 100%. When I think about what Mike wants from his current climate in the YouTube space, I think he can. It's a risk, but if he wins, it does awesome things for him. For building his brand on YouTube.
Does it though, mate? Because nobody really knows Gennady yet.
Oh, but
no, I'm talking about outside arm wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that Hermes Gasparini thing. If you're in arm wrestling, Hermes Gasparini, somebody said, you're like, yeah, hats off. Same thing with Gennady. I mean, one of my favourite pullers, and he's mega. But outside arm wrestling, I don't know whether people know him yet.
We can build that though fairly easily.
Yeah,
Gennady's willing to be marketed. He's willing to. He's already trash talking on YouTube, his own channel, and he can easily piggyback Levan's, I guess, notoriety somewhat. He can get in videos on Levan's channel with Levan and do it. So I don't know. Yeah, it's a risk. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not the one taking the risk, so I say do it. But I can understand why Mike would say no. But I would hope that Mike would say, all right, screw you all, I'm gonna do it, and then after I've beaten Gennady, you will give me Levan.
Yeah, but I don't know whether he could make that demand.
Yeah, that's where it gets weird. I think like what are we talking about right now? We're talking about like a super match, like a true, like, we're not talking about a UFC progression or, you know, a number one contender or whatever the case may be. We're talking about the meeting of two champions from separate leagues, basically. For Michael Todd, I mean, I think we would all agree that there's probably a handful of people out there that could give Michael Todd a real run for his money and potentially beat him. The only match really of any value to Michael at age 47 or whatever he is, he's also running out of time. You know what I mean? So he needs to, if he's going to get this match in, I don't think he has time for a build-up match or for like a prelim to work his way up. So basically what Igor is saying about come over to Zloty and win Zloty and then enter into the top 8, I don't think Michael has the timeline for that. And plus it's really anticlimactic because we lose the opportunity at the prime match right now. It's already prime.
Yeah.
At the time where it's very doable. Like this time, like it's
the only time.
It's
very doable.
Yeah,
really.
You can just put it out and it would just be magic, you know.
And the weird thing is, right, if you're looking at it from Michael Todd's perspective, you can sort of break this down into two very distinct paths. I.e., number one, if the whole aspiration and objective here is legacy, okay, legitimizing the who's the man thing to a pretty stable position, as stable as it can ever be, then it is only one option, and that's Levan Saginashvili, okay? However, if it's the YouTube sensation trying to blast the numbers on YouTube, there's another one, and possibly two, although the other one's a bit fringe as well. The other one that's definitely could do that would be Devon Larratt.
Right.
Because Devon Larratt got a massive following of people outside of arm wrestling.
Whatever he does, it's huge. Yeah. Whatever he does, is huge.
So that's your two angles. The other one that kind of could garner a degree of interest because it happened and has been entertaining and it's, you know, was left a little bit wide open was the Jerry Cadorette match.
Right. So we're looking at two matches that can easily happen in WAL, right?
Yeah.
The third, but they're like
three. Gennady Quick V, another one.
Right. But these matches are all like distant runner-ups to Michael versus Levan. You know what I mean? They're and so like when I look at Michael versus Levan, you can look at it from like maybe Igor's perspective and say, well, Levan is the proven one and he stands so much to lose. Well, maybe that is the case. But we all agree that he's the heavy favorite. So the odds of Michael beating him are slim. if Michael does beat him, it allows for an immediate rematch and controversy, or it allows for more matches from top 8 guys with Michael. If Michael loses to Levan, we don't talk about him crossing over to anybody from top 8 again, most likely. Most likely he fades back into WAL. The overall perception of the world is that the PAL is just superior, and we move on to. So realistically, I just don't see a whole lot of negatives from the PAL side for this match. They're heavy favorite, and if for whatever reason Levan loses, I think there should immediate rematch clause in there.
That's the one for me.
Yeah.
I spoke to, I mean, we've all been watching the back and forth conversation between PAL and the arm wrestling world, and it's been very, very, very messy, from
nasty,
the PAL. I think that someone needed to sack whoever was writing that. I don't know. It didn't seem like it was Igor. It seemed like it was someone else. But there was no professionalism in the way that organization represented their cause. And when I did some digging and I spoke to a few people, Sill, who's the head referee of the PAL, and he represented the fact to me that the top 8 season is booked for this year, and that is why Levan can't, because he's committed to the top 8 season. And so the PAL just missed the mark in their reason. Rather than belittling Mike and rather than getting into a fight with the fans, they have represented it in a more professional manner along the lines of, look, the PAL is equally excited with the arm wrestling fans of the world at the prospect of this match, but both men have commitments to their league, and the top 8 season is locked in for this year. We hope to see this match at a later date. Something along those lines would have come across so differently, but instead it's this big argument, and so it's messy. I don't think that it's going to happen for Mike, simply because if what I heard from Sill is correct, that the top 8 season is booked, then Levan's committed. So, yeah.
How can the top 8 season be booked though? And just to be clear, I've no interest in sort of reigniting that bullshit between PAL and the arm wrestling world. I don't like that at all, to be honest. I think I'm a big supporter of PAL as an entity in arm wrestling in terms of bringing value to the sport, whether it's equipment, professional tournaments, you name it. I've said it many times. I think they do excellent stuff. I can't fathom how really you could have booked a season this year. Some matches, a couple of matches, maybe the match with Dave. I get that, but I'm struggling to see that the top 8 season can be how. Nobody knows who can travel.
Yeah. We're talking about international people too. We're not talking about guys all from one country or anything. It sounds almost like that's really just kind of an excuse, not to be crass or anything, but like Neil's saying, how can you guarantee that, 8 human beings from separate countries are going to be able to, fly to one place?
16 human beings. 16.
Right. 2 weight classes. Yeah.
2 weight classes.
And the weird thing is, I mean, as everybody knows, we've spoken about it on here many times, and hopefully everybody on the call will be involved in it anyway, but we've got the Arnold Classic UK planned at the end of October. Sorry, the start of October, 1st to the 3rd of October. And I get messages all the time, is everything confirmed? Is everything set? Theoretically, yeah. But it's very much theoretically, because right now it is literally illegal for me to see my next door neighbour. Never mind go and do a show in a packed. This is the thing. We're talking about an expo.
Yeah.
Is that going to be? We're talking about arena shows.
And I know the same from Australian perspective. At the moment, I can leave the country if I get government approval. I can get a government approval for it being essential for my business, which I believe I can achieve. Having said that, I haven't actually put the formal application in, so I could get knocked back on that and just be denied to leave the country at any point. So, and then there's the thing. I know Australia's talking about vaccinations and passes on having to have a vaccine to travel. And I know for me, I'm not in a position where I'm keen to take a vaccine at this point that's being floated around down here. So yeah, it's still up in the air, big time.
Yeah, really, really. I'll tell you what I would like to see. You know, obviously from organisations like Professional Armwrestling League, who are unquestionably deeply embedded in the sport, and you know, you've got opportunities to do things like, just if anybody's looking at Ray, guys out there watching and wondering what's going on there, it's not that he's slept with a particularly aggressive woman who just sucked the life out of him.
Fuck the pussy.
Yeah, it's not happened. That's not happened. Another time, he's been using the old ring suction thing. He's into his healing techniques, aren't you, Ray? That's technical.
No, you know, I was so in love with this. I'm like,
yeah, he just sucked his own arm. Yeah, the weird guy. He likes cats. Yeah. You know. Anyway, but we're getting off topic. So I would like to see the PAL do. Let's say you went to a country or you went to a region where you've less restrictions from COVID, but some of those Eastern European regions are full of absolute savages. And just pull those guys off against each other, you know what I mean? Just get 8 of those guys in a room and start absolutely cracking. But produced, I'm talking about. Not that one where, you know, he'll get people together when it's off season and just do, we're in a gym, here we are. I don't know what it actually says because I can't speak Russian, but we're in a gym, here we are, we're going to pull these guys off against each other in kind of a round robin. I'm talking about, give them time, say, okay, we've got 3 months, guys, we're going to get 8 exceptional middleweights and do like a national or regional top-class puller eliminator, just to see how that goes, because some of those guys that fly below the radar, they'll shock you.
Have you seen what Engen is doing? What Engen is trying to do?
Yes.
That would be amazing if he achieves it. Like the matches he was setting up already were like the quality of wrestling, like
mega,
like the elite, you know, level lightweight.
He was going for Bojidar versus Makarov, wasn't
he? Yeah.
I mean, who didn't want to see that?
Yeah, I will talk with Bojidar right now, tomorrow, I think. So, because like he's a very unknown guy, 3 or 4 time WAF 80 kilo world champ, right arm, arguably the best right arm under that weight. You know, he's right there in conversation. Yeah, and proven himself time and time again, European champ and everything else. So, a lot of these guys don't have the recognition that they, you know, they kind of deserve. They much likely deserve. Also, Prokopchuk, Mindaugas, you know, the Turkish guys that no one knows, you know, that are.
Is that happening? Is that one happening?
It's kind of murky.
Might be on.
Kind of murky. Yeah. I don't know, because it's like they were scheduling Sandri Sheds from Latvia to pull Andrei Cipriano in the same event. And like when I was in Dubai, and Sandri just like sends me a message like they canceled all my flights, you know, just out of nowhere. So they canceled all his event, and he was preparing for that. So it's all the time. We can set up matches, but can we get there? You know, because like when you go to Turkey or whatever country they're gonna make it happen, you know, you need the place where you don't. When you come in, you don't have to sit in quarantine. You know, we already sitting in quarantine when we get back. You know, so it's very ambitious to create something like that, and that would be amazing, especially with the talent that they are just, you know, asking. I don't know if it's going to be under Nomad or whatever, but those matches would be solid gold for arm wrestling, quality wise, you know, my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to throw my name into the hat though. Does Nomad not need my commentary really bad? I mean, I watch those matches, and all I'm thinking is somebody, please, if not somebody,
please talk. Yeah, but if not, because I know they are watching some of these videos. Just guys, stop with the clickbaity Marvel superheroes. You don't need that. Just create arm wrestlers, show arm wrestlers. You know, it's I'm watching some of that. I'm like, oh, it's kind of cringy. Just stop it. The match was awesome. If you saw the Bojidar, who was he pulling? He was pulling Kazakh guy who's also WAF world champ. That match, like round 1, 2 minutes in a hook, just amazing. You know, the technical, how they're working it out, and just producing like, and again, there was Kazakh national championship like previous week. You know, Morozov looked like a tank, and then we saw videos with Talgat, you know, just getting in his position. Yeah.
I
but
mean,
again,
did everybody see that?
Yeah, I think everyone saw that. You didn't see it? The Morozov won 110 plus, Talgat won 80 kilos, and they were on side table, and he's just like a boom in. And again, I saw it from different angles.
I did see that.
And when he stops, he just cracks him back. But the way that Talgat gets in, it's amazing.
Speed. Oh my God! The first hit.
Yeah.
Is it possible to go faster than that?
I don't know.
I am so envious of that. I'm so envious of like the ability to commit your shoulder like that. That explosion.
Everything, hand movement, everything. It's
everything.
Like there's that match, and from different angle with him and Geoff in 2019 Worlds, where he just blasts Jeff Hale like this, you know, just with the arm, like right in the set. It's just amazing that his abilities. Like he beat Oleg Zhok in Zloty Tour. That's the one loss that Oleg had.
Did anybody else find themselves doing that in slow mo? Because I did. I actually full on frame by frame advanced it. I'm like, watch it again, and I'm watching the position, and I'm like getting my sons in there going, just watch this mother fluffer.
The confidence in your elbow and your shoulder to be able to do that.
But also the hand.
But I mean, I don't got the confidence to do it.
Like his hand,
structurally.
It should be so strong, because even though you hit with the shoulder, sometimes you will get opened up. He stays connected everywhere, you know. Of course, Morozov will catch him and just pull him back, but and he looked like a just complete like toying with everyone. And Kazakh level is the highest in the world. I believe their national level is the highest in the world, you know, with every class, because it's such a high competition. The technique is so good for everyone. It's just amazing, you know. Watch. I'm still waiting for some matches. Yeah.
When Paul was saying there that the confidence. That. Yeah. I mean, it's not like you're committing with shall I do this with some guy that's like you'll see a video, right, and some guy looks really venomous, really fast, and you think, and you'll mention it to someone and they'll go, but he's this guy's not all that, and he's not even at that league. So then you look at the Talgat situation, he's doing it with Morozov, who is biblically strong, like ridiculously strong. And it's like, I'll do this, dude. It's all right. He only outweighs me by 35 kilos or whatever, you know.
Yeah, it's one thing of practicing with your drunk buddy who doesn't arm wrestle. Yeah, I can do that tomorrow. But if you put me up against a real arm wrestler who's going to stop me potentially, the amount of pressure on the shoulder and elbow.
Oh my God. In that position, I'd be a bit iffy about doing it with the novice dude. I was going to throw everything in there at ludicrous speed. Like I'd be like, anybody above like 6 years old, I'm like, well, I'm not doing it that hard.
It was like the initiation was so explosive, and the let off was so like boom, and then when he let go, like you could see all the pressure that he was getting, and I mean, I almost think how you get that slow release pain where you have to kind of let off.
Yeah.
Like what about that? He just lets it go, like he must not feel any pain at all. It's unbelievable.
It's like he's gone so fast, the movement can't end that quick.
I'm like, everyone's watching, just Googling right now. Everyone's like, Talgat Aktayev right now. Like, who is?
And if you want to do speed kills.
Oh, Ryan, you didn't see it? Oh my God.
Right now, son. It won't take long. You'll be back in the conversation.
Right. Talgat and Morozov in the same, it should be up. I saw it from different angles as well.
Put the sound on, Ryan, because he makes the speed noise. If you do anything that fast, I don't care what you're doing. However, and he goes,
okay.
I
see what you mean now.
And there's so many videos of him doing the same to Krasimir, same to Imeric Pradines, and many others, because he's so explosive. It's of course, they're trying to catch him. It's crazy. You just cannot catch him. It's so ridiculous. The speed is so ridiculous.
It highlights. It's my favorite thing at the moment that I'm trying to get my head around and work on is just that center table, winning center table, and that's the best example of winning center table right there.
Yeah.
I feel like the reward for winning center table and speed is obviously a weapon there. Like you can get past someone who is significantly stronger than you if you have the reaction and the speed and the willingness and commitment to be brave. The rewards are immense.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. That's the bravest of the brave, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's moving so quick. He isolates everything. There's so much joint on that. There's so much. Oh, it's mega. I love it. Talgat, I've said on here many times, I love him. I think he's an absolute savage.
When you come up against someone like that, you're planning for a match. You're like, do I dare to try to top roll, or do I dare try to hook? Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
You're like,
because the hit looks so vicious. It looks like your arm is gonna tear. Like again, and he won. Yeah, he won Makaro, Irakli. I don't know. He didn't win Makaro. He won Irakli. He won 75 world champ in 2019. And then he looked like just speed. It was him. Yeah, it was him.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, just speed. Just to do this speed. The technique is so polished and just incredible.
One of those regions of the world that I've got to get to at some point. I want to go and train with that club in Kazakhstan.
Oh my God, I would love it, mate. Honestly.
Yeah.
I'd love it. I mean, with things like that, trying to stop that, you can only really possibly, if you're an extremely fast individual. I mean, Lachlan probably is the only guy I know.
Yeah. Any of us
is the only guy.
Talgat's at home watching Lachlan videos going, oh, no. How do I get to that level of speed? Watching Lachlan wind sprint fast. Awesome. Yeah, all the trees move like that. But joking aside, right, you can only sort of break it down so you move in a very small increment of your game to try to make one of his fundamentals buckle out.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I mean, a normal individual who's not got superhuman fast twitch, there's no way you can do whatever you want. You ain't getting out of the way of that.
Well, there's a mental aspect to it too. Like, when you're approaching somebody who you know is mega fast twitch like that, there's that piece of your mind that says there's no way I can out. No, it's like, well, first off, I know I can't hit before him.
Yeah.
So now I have to find a way to load, and you already tell yourself mentally that you're hanging on. And the minute you decide to hang on to somebody who initiates and, like Ryan says, control center of the table with speed, you're going for a ride.
It's the most fascinating art. It's the most fascinating area of arm wrestling for me personally. Always has been. The sort of silver bullet irregular movement thing has always been. Since I sort of first started studying that, watching Svetan videos and trying to work out how to get wins against Svetan, always been the most fascinating element. And Talgat's just another.
Well, I don't know. Like it's a rare genetic thing. There's a gentleman in my club named Rodion Kristolov. I put out a video of him featuring him today. He's a 63 kilo guy. He had a super match with a 95 kilo guy on the weekend, and the 95 kilo guy is way stronger than Rodion. I promise you, way, way stronger. And Rodion flash pinned him 3 times. And it was the same thing. It was just like the big guy just could never get the power down because it was over before he initiated. And right now I'm just so fascinated with that center table speed. It's very tempting to go all in on that.
Oh, it's really, 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 like you say, the reward. It's huge risk, huge reward. But it's funny. I've heard people try and break it down to me and say things like, "Oh, it's just about committing now. It's just committing." And there's it is about committing, but there's much more to. I'll give you an example, right? Let's say you couldn't be more committed to the purpose in hand. I'll tell you what. I had some kind of infection where they were having to. It was like a stomach infection. They had to take like a piss test. So I go to the hospital and they say, mate, we give you looks like a 5-gallon drum. And they say, you got to take that and for 5 days, you got to piss into that drum. Okay? And then bring it back next week. So you pissed in this for like 5-6 days, whatever it may be. So I'm like, really? Yeah, you got to do that. So, okay, no problem. So I get home that night. And I haven't really read the instructions that much. And this is with a good lid on it. So I take the lid off and I hang the old willy-nilly into the friggin', anyway, what I don't know, as I stick the floppy dog into the cap, what they didn't tell me, the liquid that's in there is some kind of acid, right? So I hang the floppy dog in that motherfucker, and it touches the acid. Now, we're talking acid on the end of your floppy dog. And the speed that I took my knob out of that was less than Talgat's hips. I couldn't have been more committed to getting my dick out.
For the record.
You'd have freeze-framed my dick out reaction and Talgat's hit. Talgat's like half a millisecond faster.
This is in fact a true story.
That's legitimately happened. No glasses, mate. No glasses. Glasses off. That legitimately happened. I couldn't have been more committed. My God, I wanted my knob out of there.
Yeah, you don't need smelling salts. Just your knob in acid at the start of a match. You'll be good.
Yep.
Hey, we got some very informed viewers on the fix, and I am sure that somebody who is in the medical world will be right now watching this and keying. That's right. This is the kind of you might need when and we do spot and you do piss in it. I was that guy and I did that.
Mm-hmm. I'm interested to know because right now I'm feeling really thankful for our weird American health care that we pay all this money for.
Dude, not good. There couldn't be, imagine you say, simplify it, something we've all done. Imagine you get in the shower. Okay? I was once in a shower in one of them cheap hotels. I went to a tournament with Pascal Girard and he said, the hotel in this area, they all booked up.
He's from Switzerland.
Yeah, so that's my You're killing me, right? Girard impression right there. So he says, we go to Formula 1 hotel, it's not too bad. So he puts me in this hotel. It was shit. And they have this tiny little cubicle, right? So I get in the cubicle. Back then I was like lean and mean. I'm like 82 kilos or something. I get in this friggin' shower cubicle and I put the shower on. And the shower comes out and it is literally, the water's like McDonald's apple pie hot. We're talking stupidly hot, like you took boiled water and then boiled it again loads of times, so it was ridiculous. And it came out and onto the middle of my back, and I'm like, ah! And I went out that quick. I ran through the door. I didn't open the fucking door. I ran through the door. That's how fucking fast. And Talgat's hit was faster than that.
Yeah.
Check the hit, guys. Check out Talgat's hit. And don't stay in Formula 1 hotels without checking the temperature. Still got like a line on my back where all the skin Anyway, I feel like we got off topic. Anybody got anything to say about Jordan? Still? No?
What's that?
Still.
Jordan Sill, mate. On topic.
Jordan is not weak.
He's not weak at all.
Not weak.
In no way is that guy weak. In fact, something came out about that this week. I can't remember who put it on. Who the hell put that on? But somebody put on there a comparison between Jordan Sill and Hermes Gasparini of Larry Wheels channel fame. Has anybody been watching that over there with Hermes?
A little bit.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
Hermes looks solid, doesn't he? Look big.
Oh, he looks big. His hand is so strong. He can toy with anyone. It's just so ridiculously strong. It's I
know. Do you know?
I don't know. I guess maybe 105, 10, maybe.
Yeah, no, and there's no spare, is there? Everything's useful weight there.
Yeah. He looks very solid. Like he's been out from basically competing like everyone else. because Italy was hit real hard at the beginning, if everyone remembers it, you know. And so I think he's much better than when he faced Matt Mass, because he was still coming kind of back, and now he's just committed to training. He looked ridiculous. You know, of course there's, you know, I don't know really how strong Derek is, you know, compared to, you know, any other heavyweight. There's nothing, you know, anyone can do. Now, Vitaly is right there. So maybe we will see. Maybe we will not see it. I don't know, you know, but I would love to see it.
What, Vitaly and Hermes?
Yeah, 2 top rollers, you know.
Surely, though, if the top 8 seasons already booked, Vitaly, you know, come on. Otherwise, you're on the phone with the referee again. Ryan pick up the phone and he'll be like, That's it. We switch on Larry Will's channel and there's Vitaly like, you know. But how do you see that going, Ray? Who would you have money on?
You have to put Laletin right now. I think Hermes can do something, but his style, again, like every advantage Hermes has, Vitaly has it bigger, you know, just bigger. So I would go with Laletin. It would shock me, you know, if Hermes could do like real something, control something, not just game. Everyone can game, you know.
Yeah, Hermes would need a fast start against Vitaly to have. In a slow start, I would love to see slow start with them. Just, you know, just working on table, seeing, you know, who can open up and work on both top rollers, kind of similar techniques. Vitaly kind of can post a little better than Hermes. Hermes can sometimes, you know, gives up his hand.
It's still great,
but it's just so strong. It's so ridiculously strong. And I believe it's the same with Vitaly. 2 of the best top rollers in the world right now, in my opinion.
I still maintain that Laletin could easily, if he's not already, could easily go on to be the man.
Yeah.
Because I still, as I said, I maintain he wasn't that far away. You know, the first set, there was 5-10 pounds of pressure, not a lot of pressure there, different. Yeah. And if he'd have cracked the wrist of Levan in round 1, very different match. Yeah. You know, it's that halfway house.
He kind of right now has grow into, you know, his size. And before that, he was just, you know, getting there. And Levan was living there. Levan was already 150 kilos for I don't know how long. And he just, you know, just get bigger and stronger. Laletin might be the guy, and we need that season to happen for us to find out, you know.
Fortunately, Ryan, undercover brother, has found out that it is actually booked. Did he say when it was booked for Ryan, or was he literally?
No, he didn't give me dates, but he cited that as the reason why, that it was booked, it was happening. So yeah.
There's a level of commitment when you just like, you throw in someone off the scent.
Right.
Like that was my wife all the time. She'll ask me questions, and I know she may know. I definitely know that what she's asking me, I have not done that. She'll say, "Have you? You know, there's something that's not, you know, not any harm. Like, have you washed up or loaded the dishwasher or loaded the washing machine or taken the bins out? Or my very favourite, have you mowed the lawn?" And I'll be like, you know, she'll be ringing, and I promise that mother I will mow that lawn. And she'll be ringing me up, she'll be going, "That's it.
It's booked.
Have you mowed that lawn?" And I'll be like,
It's booked. It's booked.
It's booked.
Right, by the time you get home, it's done. Now, he might have been doing that to you, Ryan. He might have been like, "It's not happening, but it's Ryan, and we don't want any negative PR. Let's just tell him that it's booked." And he'll be like, "Yeah, it's booked, Ryan. Sorted. All in there. Couple of months. No chance. Absolutely none." So, segues into a question we've got, right? And this question was about the most underrated arm wrestler who should feature in the top 8. Quite a good question, that, I thought. I should really say who that's from. I think it's Marco.
From the guys that are already in there, or someone who's not there but should be there, you know.
Yeah,
that's from Martin Gleason.
Someone underrated.
Yeah, he's written to us before. Martin Gleason's question. So, who is the top?
Well, the first thing about the top 8 is that it's not genuinely the top 8. It was marketed when that whole series launched for the first time, it had, we heard invitations to Michael Todd, to Devon, Laletin, Dave Chafee, to Gennady Quickvinia, and those guys all weren't able to. And then they were replaced by Cadorette and Garbayev and Babayev and Prudnik, I think. So the first invite wasn't truly a top 8. So those 4 names that we just mentioned there, for obvious reasons, they were WAL committed, and Gennady, I think Gennady was caught up in the WAF ban, for the reason he didn't go in. But if we're not talking about those names, there's no doubt still people out there. For me, when you say underrated arm wrestlers, I always think of Jerry Cadorette.
Yeah, that's honestly that's who I was thinking of, and maybe it's just because I feel like the top 8 just needs a little bit of a spice up of North Americans, even if it's just for PR, And we talked about how the PAL, Facebook, whoever was responding to that was so combative, and it kind of gave the feel that there's no respect for North American arm wrestlers. And I think we would all say, listen, we're not saying over here that we are of that level. We acknowledge that, but I do like the idea for, even if it is some form of PR or spicing up just the hype. I would love to see Jerry go over there, and I also think at the super heavyweight weight class, I think North Americans are very relevant. That may be the only weight class where we are. So I think that would be interested. And I think any North American that you would put over there would in fact, be considered underrated, by the standards of Eastern Europe.
Oh, I would love to see Travis Bagent in there too.
Me too. Yeah. He'd have to get ready though.
We always remember, for me, the last time I saw Travis Bagent ready was when he beat Dave Chafee left and right. And so, we know,
that was a very, very bad man.
Yeah.
100%. That dude's right arm that day, I think Travis's dad had passed away a couple of weeks prior.
Yeah.
And I remember when I heard about that, I said to my buddies down here, Travis is going to win this title. Emotion does an amazing thing to someone. And he destroyed Dave Chafee.
He's talked about that. He's talked about that time frame as one of his best. I mean, that's self-admitted. I think that the best version, most recent version we saw, I mean, that was a few years prior, but I think he was in pretty good form, for Moldova. You were there with him, Ryan, but I think, it really is for him about the money on the line and the potential for future money. So having talking to him about the Moldova, match and, how it worked out and everything, he was preparing for the future potential of money there. So I think that he was in pretty good form there as well.
Yeah, I know. I always sticks out in my mind the 2015 version, but I think what Martin was getting at was off the radar guys. Guys, Talgat, that guy that you don't know about or you haven't heard of so much. Who do you think's the most worthy person that's off? Let's go round. I mean, North America. Who's the most under the radar super heavyweight in North America?
Oh, I mean,
Eric Spano.
Yeah. From what I hear, that's actually kind of viable.
Yeah.
I mean,
got massive potential, for damn sure.
Massive triceps as well.
I feel like Corey West, healthy and continuing to progress like he was with Michael, is an interesting guy. As far as North America is underrated. Or a young guy who has a lot of potential. Like, I feel like that guy is going to be he's going to be a complete weirdo in a couple of years.
Well, he got the frame, hasn't he?
Oh, it's huge. And he's just mega strong. Like, you see the guy bench press, like, he's freakishly strong and he's getting bigger. He's got so much, it's almost like he's working his lean muscle mass, to fat ratio out. And he's just getting huge and it's almost hard to see it. And he's young and he's training with Michael. So, and
he's young, isn't he?
Oh, he's real young. Yeah.
What is he, like 25 or something? So
yeah,
he's
like
only
early
a puppy.
20s. He's a puppy.
Yeah, so hopefully the mother stopped growing.
Because, I mean, you wouldn't want him on the top bunk, would you? That's a big bastard. You would risk your life.
Yeah, I don't know if he's ready for that level now. Like, I'm by no way inferring that he should be in top 8. Because I think if we're looking for like an obscure guy in North America, that's the name kind of that comes to mind. But if you want someone that's going to be competitive, I think what Ryan's saying with Jerry Cadorette or Travis is really that's
yeah, 100%. Ray. Oh, sorry, Ryan. You go. Who've you got from Australia's? What do you want
from my region of the world, I go New Zealand's Mate Warangi Hitamora.
Yeah.
Mate Warangi Hitamora. He's pushing 105 kilos now. Big dude.
He's right there on the wall behind you. He's right there pulling the old.
Yeah. Shit, where is he? There.
There he is.
Yeah.
That's the man right there. Mate Warangi Hitamora. 165 kilos. Has been quite dominant. Yeah, 165.
He's a North.
Oh God, and he's not tall, is he? How tall is he?
He's 6'3".
Is he?
I would love to see the match between Big Matt and Corey. I think that would be amazing. Just because of like who they are. They're almost like, I feel like they're very similar people.
Yeah. They are. They're in a very good timeline.
Super strong, you know?
Yep. Yeah, Big Matt loves the bench press. Big Matt's he's an all-out top roller. I know Corey West likes to put people in a hook. That'd be a great match for sure. And last time, Big Matt's actually faced Levan. PAL actually funnily released a video of Levan pulling Big Matt, and they were it was a weird post because they were trying to say how awesome Levan was, and Levan won on elbow fouls in the match, and Big Matt actually looked pretty good for like an extreme underdog. I was like, wow, you actually handled yourself all right against Levan.
That was their matchup. At the WAF, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a WAF matchup, and Big Matt didn't look out of place, and the elbow fouls were weird, little tiny elbow fouls, and Levan moved on without having to actually pin him. But yeah, he'd be the dark horse from this part of the world.
Just a little interval here, guys, to say that this morning actually, like 5 minutes before, actually couldn't have timed it better. 5 minutes before we came on air. Your sponsor, Western Survivor Beef Jerky, sent me over some more gear. And I had forgotten how good this cracked peppercorn one is. You know, you're supposed to, Adam Van Looy says, Neil, just put it in your cheek.
Cheek and hold it.
Can't be done.
Yeah, impossible. Impossible.
Can't be done.
Yeah. Like silly. Just silly.
Yeah. It's like somebody getting, the most beautiful lass in the world getting them out and going, and you can't, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. I'm having withdrawals waiting for the second box to arrive.
Yeah, me too. I'm checking. I check the post every time. I'm like,
it's absolute quality. I'm happily smashing these up. Oh, one other thing. Levan Saganaspili messages me last night. Neil, just launched my YouTube channel. Can you give it a plug? You bet your ass we can give it a plug.
Yep.
Yeah.
Link is in the description. Ladies and gentlemen, Levan Saganaspili, arguably the very best arm wrestler in the world in the super heavyweight division at the moment, may be the man on the planet, and he's on social media. Right. Big cuddly teddy bear mother fluffer. Ray would move him in. Wouldn't you, mate?
Well, yeah. He's got, I think he might have somebody editing for him and stuff too. Him and Gennady, they got like intros and stuff. I think they got people doing it for him, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I believe that a lot of fans in the country, a lot of people who support what you're doing, and they see, they see the benefits, and why not? Of course, that's great.
I like the highly produced stuff, but at the same time, what I want to see most is just Levan sticking a camera in his face, telling me what he's thinking and feeling. That's what I want to see. I want to see the raw, just those guys that are truly at the top. What makes them tick? What motivates them? What gets them worried? That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I saw a great video from Julius Maddox. Julius Maddox just broke all-time bench press
irregular
record.
Strength.
Yeah, 355 kilos. It's the last video on his channel. The bench press.
That's mega. When you just said 355 kilos,
raw. And he's like, I can do 800. That's 786 pounds or something like that. He's like, I can do 800. You know, but the video is just. It's not about story about him lifting the weight. It's about story of him never giving up on his dream. It's amazing video. I highly recommend for everyone to see the inside of a man who just for third time broke his own world record that everyone thought was impossible to do 5-10 years ago. Just crazy. You know, so yeah, I understand what Ryan is saying. I completely agree that you shouldn't create the content that everyone else is doing. You should just show why you are you. You know, that's the best part about you. You know.
Yeah, I think Julius is one of those rare weirdos we've spoken about from the arm wrestling world. You know, I mean, I would like to trace his heritage back and see, you know, at what point his ancestors moved from Brisbane. Because it's so clear. We were speaking before we came on. It's so clear. We were speaking before we came on air about Sarah Backman. You know, a lot of
she's from Brisbane.
Yeah. Definitely from Brisbane.
You know, Sarah was once considering moving to Brisbane. Legit. She was tossing up.
Imagine if she did that.
Can you imagine?
No. Serious, she was. Yeah, she was like, it was like, do I go back to Sweden? Do I stay in USA? Or do I look at another option? I'm like, hey, there is a lot of arm wrestlers in Brisbane. And she was doing the math on it. She was doing the math.
Hey, that's a ridiculous concept. I'm not sure anybody could beat Sarah if she went to Brisbane. The potential, the commitment and drive she's got. When she's in the eye of the storm.
Yeah, imagine all the power she would absorb just standing there. Yeah.
That's why Danny Tesh had to move out.
Yeah, too much. It just was too much. Yeah, unbearable.
He was going to implode.
Yeah,
he's already the conduit of godly power. You know. So.
Did you guys see that Brisbane is having a over the top tournament in November?
Yeah.
I love the fact that they called it over the top too as well.
Yeah, and they've replicated tables, so built the tables the same way with the round pads, the same color schemes, all that sort of stuff. The same.
Wear the shoes. Please wear the shoes. Yeah, you have to have the big shoes.
Yeah, you don't bring like the 70s platform. That ain't no over the top.
Yeah.
Everything. They get,
even Vitaly Laletin should have to wear them.
They're saying like they're encouraging that it has to be 80s theme and all that sort of stuff in terms of the attire, and the classes are the same. I like the fact that I'm weighing up in my head, like there's going to be decent prize money in my weight division. Do I pull my weight division, or do I save everything for that overalls and go for the big money?
At what point will you start selling that old like European vacation style striped shirt that Alan Fisher wore? That's like so wank, it's brilliant. When you can set, when Nightmare on Elm Street was being made, they looked at over the top and like, I'll tell you what, look at the shirt this dude's got on. Theme it on that. And Freddy Krueger's shirt was based on Alan Fisher's.
I'm pretty sure Alan Fisher wants to come out, dude. Alan touched base with me the other day, wanting details. So, I think.
And is this actually taking place in Brisbane? Because Alan Fisher moves over there. He stays there for like 3 weeks. Motherfucker, going to be 27 when he comes home.
Yes, it is. It's on the Gold Coast, in Queensland. So, it's gonna be a good event. It's held at the casino. Gold Coast, if you've never been to the Gold Coast, Australia, it is probably ranked in the top 3 of the greatest beaches on the planet in terms of putting everything together perfectly. It's such an amazing part of the world. Gold Coast.
I mean, you get eaten if you go for a swim, but other than that, it's awesome. If the crocs don't get you, the sharks will.
Hey, you get eaten if you stay on shore as well, so,
Yeah. So, mate, I would love to go. Yeah, I would love to go. I'll tell you,
if travel is open, I might come, yeah.
I know Devon straight away said he's there if travel. I know Ryan Espy has said they've just said November so far. They haven't released a specific date. So yeah, Ryan Espy's keen. A bunch of people, kind of the lower mid-tier guys from the USA have messaged as well asking for details. So it could be a lot of fun. I hope it gets away. I hope there's no 2-week bloody restriction for people coming in. That's what'll kill it.
Yeah, that would kill it. 100%.
How did that come about, Ryan?
That was the major sponsor from the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation, which is a company called Stronghold Panduit. They were committed to the season of 2021, and given that COVID is what it is, the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation said, well, let's go all in on one decent event at the end of the year and market it that way. So, it came about through the sponsors really supporting the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation really well and wanting to make something of this year.
Absolute quality. Australia. The source.
Yeah, Tom Iglesias. I think it was actually Tom Iglesias, who's the super heavyweight here in Brisbane, another one. I think it was his idea.
Makes sense, of course. Yeah. Cool.
So when this happens,
I hope they allow it happening. If I could go to I don't know, Brisbane, and I don't have to sit in quarantine for 14 days. If I had a vaccine, I will get the vaccine right now. Just get it somewhere. Don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's whether when the vaccine program starts to kick in internationally, what level of confidence that gives governments around travel, isn't it? Really,
Yeah, that's the most important part.
Because you do get the kind of feeling that they're doing everything in stages. So it would be a case of, okay, we've got the levels down to a certain degree here in our country. Let's hold that.
Just out of curiosity, what is the level of accessibility for vaccines where you guys are at?
It's going well here in terms of, I think as we stand now, it's something like 17 or 18 million people have been vaccinated. Okay. There or thereabouts. A lot of people.
Are they with the high risk people first and everything, or can just anybody get it?
Yes, they're doing it in high risk and comorbidities, anything like that. They also are doing the age category slides. So they started with the sort of 90s, 80s, 70s.
Yeah.
I think they're they're around the 60s now, somewhere around there.
Okay, that's good. We are having terrible times here with vaccines. They effed up purchasing them, then distributing them because they wanted to do, and the people are like, no, I don't wanna. Now everyone can have it. The system, it's ridiculous. I believe we have vaccinated maybe 25,000. 25,000 out of 2 million. So it's. I'm like, we're gonna reach herd immunity by 2027.
Ryan, when Over the Top 2 happens, mate, just to close out the show, do you believe this will be like a coming out party for the Aussies, though? If you get a lot of, is it kind of the wish that a lot of the top lads get over there so you can, because let's say you take a lot of stick for, overestimating the Aussies. It'd be a real proving point if you got some of the top lads in the world came over there and the Aussies did really perform well.
Honestly, yeah. With just the first name being Devon Larratt. Devon Larratt said he would compete. Honestly, if it's a tournament format, you've got Matawarangi Hitter Morris, Ben Carroll, Lachlan Adair, myself, Ryan Scott. Yeah, it's not certain that Devon wins. And then the world's probably laughing their ass off hearing me say that right now, but I agree, Neil, that it's a very big opportunity. And it's not certain Devon wins that tournament with those names in that draw. It really isn't. So, can't wait.
I honestly don't think that's that crazy, man. I think, it's tournament format, and I think you're on to something, depending on how things break out. I think that there is a possibility that what you're talking about is true. So I'd like to see it one way or another.
Do you think it's mostly the middleweight guys that you will see untested, though? Do you think if you get people over there, it's going to be the likes of Devon and Mike? Do you think there'll be a lot of solid middles coming?
If people come, they're not going to enter their weight category. They're going to go straight for that overall.
How's that work? What's the overall? Explain it to me. I thought you had to win your weight class to get the overall.
Just like the original tournament, you can.
The heavyweight class is the overall.
Yeah. So there is a weight division. There's a pro division for every weight class, including heavyweight.
And then
and then there's an open tournament, and the open tournament is $10,000, where every weight category tournament is only for $2,000.
Do you have to enter the class, or can you just go in the open?
No, you can just go straight to the overalls if you want.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, and that's what, like, John Brzenk didn't pull his weight division in the over-the-top tournament. He saved it all for the truck, and he won it. I think Ron Barth or something won John's weight division. So I think Ron Barth or whoever it was won 10 grand in their weight division, so John missed out on the 10 grand, but went all in and won the truck. So same sort of format.
That's interesting. That play is interesting, you know?
Yeah. I know for me, I can tell you right now that I will happily forego my weight division for the chance to be as fresh as I can be, to get the chance to have a genuine ready go with someone like Devon, man, I don't care how small my odds are. It's an awesome experience. I would never pass that up.
Sounds like a lot of fun, ladies and gentlemen. Over the top 2 taking place in Australia, hopefully, COVID permitted, touch a lot of wood, this November. Hopefully we can get things rolling there. I'm conscious we're just over the hour mark in episode 54 of The Fix, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to wrap it up there. Want to say a massive thank you to these guys. Paul Linn, the White Hawk in the mother flipping house. Check this guy out, Lethal Arms, and get some of the apparel. He's got the best shirts in the game, this dude. They'd even look good, I think. Anybody can look good in a Lethal Arms shirt. Absolute quality. And the links are in the description, guys, so get over there to Lethal Arms and check it out. ROLLIE Ray Liepins with his massive hands. We didn't talk about measurements. We'll maybe do that in show 55. We got a lot of love on the measurement side of things. ROLLIE Ray, voice of arm wrestling for everything. Particularly the guys that are coming into the sport and send us the questions in about how should I train this? How should I do that? It's there. Trust me, seek it out. ROLLIE Royce, the voice. He's got some of the best minds in the game working with him over there and breaking things down into fine detail at the voice of arm wrestling. Again, check it out in the description. Last but not least, it's Ryan Blue Bowen, the most popular arm wrestler on planet Earth. He's right here. He's live. He's real. It's all real, baby. 24-inch head. That guy. Yeah. 24-inch head and a 14-inch. Ladies and gentlemen, this show, moving on, this show is brought to you by the best beef jerky in the world. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, Western Survivor. www.westernsurvivor.ca. I've smashed a pack while we're on here. Adam Bandel, king of beef jerky, sending us over the Western Survivor kit. Get on there, check it out. He's going to be giving away another arm wrestling table very soon also. Ladies and gents, this is your first visit to Supernatural Strength. Please like, share, subscribe. Until we see you next time right here on The Fix. Take it easy, peeps.
What grabs your eyes on that, if anything?